Good morning, people looking to do something in their downtime. What I'm doing in my downtime today is I'm building a MoNiBloom shelving unit for my miniatures. I'm starting to really like these shelving units because I'm mainly about Warhammer on a budget. So I'm building these units for my Warhammer miniatures on a budget. $109 from Amazon delivered. Pretty great thing. It'll hold just a ton of miniatures. And then if you add to it, like I hope I remember to describe, if you add to it another shelf on each of the 5 spaces, you could potentially hold twice as many miniatures. Okay, let's get started. So you get everything out of the box and make sure that you don't throw away the gloves because I'm going to use those gloves right now. The gloves here they are. Sorry about that. The gloves are used so that you don't get fingerprints on the plexiglass. And you want to put the side with the white dots towards your palms so that you can get a grip better. They're a little bit tight, so if you have big hands, you might want to come up with another option. I have very small hands, which was good for being an auto mechanic, but even for me, these are really tight. Going to be trouble. Going to limit my movement somewhat. All right, so you use these gloves to peel off the plastic from the plexiglass. And forget about the instructions. As I said in MoNiBloom 1, those are going to do you absolutely no good. I should post this video on Amazon, which is, if I haven't told you already, the source of these shelves. They're delivered by FedEx. FedEx did a good job of delivering them. And they came real quick. I say they because I had bought one before. Now buckle up, Buttercup, and get yourself a cup of coffee because it's going to be a long video. And if you want to scroll through the repetitive parts, definitely do that. Not going to hurt my feelings if you do that. I understand your time is valuable. As Jimi Hendrix would say, thank you for your sweet time. All right, this is the side of the shelf, and you'll notice that one side has a groove on it. The groove side is going to be the back because there's going to be a window in the back of the shelf that lights up the shelf very nicely without lighting at all. And then there's the front side where you got, let's see, 3 times 5 is 15. You got 16 holes in the front. You actually have about 11 holes in the back as well. But the side with 16 holes is the front. They're a little bit bigger than the holes in the back. The holes for the screws are smaller, and the holes for the roll pins are a little bit bigger. I'll explain to you what roll pins are. The bottom has some legs. See these legs right here? The bottom has some legs. Okay, so that's how you know what the bottom is. And there's 5 shelves that have a groove in them. When you have the painted part up, there's a groove upwards or on the top of it. And then one that doesn't have a groove on the top when you put the painted part up. That part without the groove will be your top. It actually has a groove underneath for this plexiglass. And then you're going to put the plexiglass in there. Okay, and then you are going to get another shelf. here's the groove right here. The plexiglass will go into. Okay, and now I'm going to get the other side of the shelf and start putting a couple screws in. Unlike a lot of things, this screwdriver that they give you, is actually good. You won't need to go to your toolbox to get a different screwdriver. This one will work just fine for this purpose. If you built a lot of stuff, that's not always the case, right? All right, so I'm grabbing 4 screws and a screwdriver, and then I'm getting this other piece of shelving. Now I'm probably going to fumble with it a little bit, but it'll be way better later on than it is right now. So I'm going to get a screw, and I put it in here, and I'm going to line up. So I put it in the 3rd hole up on the front, the side with more holes, and that's going to go into this 2nd shelf from the bottom right here. And I'm going to get that lined up. Now you never want to tighten your screws all the way. So I'm going to use this piece of plexiglass to hold this up. You never want to tighten any of your screws all the way. If you have somebody to help you, that'd be great. So I'm going to start one here, and then I'm going to do the cross one. I'm going to try to get the cross one lined up. Making sure that you don't cut the shelf out. Good thing I didn't crack it, so I didn't put it in. Assume I didn't crack it, yeah, because I didn't put it in far enough to crack it. I think I'm going to try putting actually this one over here. And definitely good to take the gloves off if you're trying to feel it. Where it goes in the hole. Okay. And that'll go just above the groove on the other side. Just above the groove on this side, but the groove is down. Okay. And then line up my piece of plexiglass again. There, I touched it without the gloves on. Not good. Because anywhere I touch it without the gloves on will be a fingerprint, right? Line up this piece. Holding the edge of the plexiglass is fine. I wish I had used another shelf to hold up that other end. fighting against its weight. Okay. Set that down. That wasn't good on the knee. Alright, that'll be ready when I get this in there again. It's probably good that, like I said, I didn't tighten it because otherwise when this fell apart, if I had it partly tightened on just one screw, it would break it when it fell over. And of course, the beginning part of this is going to be the most struggle. I'm not using the screwdriver at all because I don't want it that tight. Now I'm going to prop it up. This other shelving unit. Oh, I got the top. Okay. So that has no groove. I was going to put the groove up and then it only has groove on the bottom, not the top. Hey, that's actually pretty good. Okay. Now I'll put my piece of plexiglass back in there. Touching it as little as possible with that ungloved hand. Line it up so it's a little more square. Yeah, that fit in a lot better. And now I'm going to line up my other piece and try to put my other screw in. Wish I had you to help me. Since I feel like this is pretty safe now, I'm going to actually tighten up one of these screws just a little bit. Did the plexiglass fall out? Is that what I heard? I'll be able to bend it back in there. But I'm probably going to put the glove in before I do that. Turn those with my fingers. This is pretty well piloted. It's got a pretty good pilot hole. All right. Oh, crap. Big pilot hole. Threads are not really sinking in there, which is good since it fell apart because it didn't break it, but not really helping me to hold it. I'll turn it until I feel sink in a little bit. doing this. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I'm gonna try doing this with the back down. Just putting these shelves in the side. Unfortunately, I waited too long after building the first one to remember all the tricks that I learned building it the first time. Oh, and no wonder I'm not turning the screws, is because they're actually Allen. So make sure you're not using a screwdriver, make sure you're using an Allen. There we go. There, I don't want to put them in a lot. Make sure you have the plexiglass horizontal or landscape if you're thinking in computer terms. Much easier. Sorry you had to struggle with that. I'll probably put in the description, if you read the description, to scroll past until I turn it on the side. Definitely good to read my descriptions. Anything that I can't remember or whatever, I'm trying to think of a word. Especially when talking about the Warhammer universe. I will put in the description. I'm just turning these screws. Let me see if I can turn it so that the camera can see what I'm doing. Oh, that one easy. Look at that. I'm kind of putting my fingernail through the glove. Not through the glove, but using my fingernail with the glove on it to get the edges out. It's kind of glued on one end of the plexiglass, so if you take that part off last, it does better. Pretty good. All right, I need another shelf. All right, scoot over. Get 2 screws. Another shelf. Farthest one away. Move these 2 closer. See, I put this concave side up, and that's not how it goes. So I gotta take that apart. And that's maybe why that one doesn't fit quite so well, too. Very important to have this concave side down. There's actually going to be an extra groove on the bottom. And that was all I was looking at. I wasn't looking at it being concave or convex. Unfortunately, that's why I made that mistake. Rookie mistake. When you make a rookie mistake like that, then you have to take it back apart again, right? I'm still leaving it a little bit loose. I'm sorry you can't see this side. I'm leaving it a little bit loose. So I can make final adjustments. If a piece of plexiglass pops out, won't have to bend it quite so much to get it back in there. Yeah, that even fits better. Nice. All right. Another shelf. Make sure that that part is up, because the body was going away from the camera. And lift the shelf up a little bit to get it to line up. So, line up the next one. It's easy once I get it started. There. See, so it's stuck there. So I'm going to actually pull on that part last. Well, it's stuck here too, unfortunately. But if it's stuck there, you can also kind of guide your finger. See, I left a little bit of it on there. Okay, good. That's going to go in place. Like that. And then we'll get another shelf. Carpeting is good because I can kind of push down with the shelf and kind of get the shelf under where the plexiglass is so I can guide it in there. That makes any sense. Clear as mud, right? Allows me to make the shelf down a little lower. So I push down on the carpet. Since plexiglass goes a little bit under the edge. Another couple of screws started. Take the gloves off when done with the plexiglass. And then if I have to adjust things, I'll just hold the plexiglass from the edge so I can get fingerprints on it. nails are starting to come through the gloves. Which is okay, because fingernails are not going to give fingerprints, but they will, however, scratch it. Okay, I'm going to check on my dog here real quick. I hear him growling. Yeah, it's starting to feel like a shelf. Get my dog focused on the ball rather than any dogs that are walking back on the green belt with their owners. Oh, I put in one upside down. Look at that. See that concave side? There's two kinds of mistakes. A mistake that you notice, well, you can easily fix it, and the mistakes that aren't like that, you have to take the whole thing apart. So I'm hoping by watching my mistakes, you'll be just all the extra more careful and make less of them. Plexiglass was sliding underneath the shelving, that's why I couldn't get it in. It's starting to become more square, so now I'm just going to slide it in on the top. To work with a little bit more, obviously. All right, that is the top. It has no groove on the top. That is not the top because it has a groove on the top on the finished side. fingerprint, but the fingerprint goes away. So it's probably just like sweat that's coming through the glove. I'm really freaking hot right now. I turn off the AC and open the door, big mistake. I have to put these screws in. There's no other way about it. Or at least the top one. Lift it up again a little bit. This shelf is just a little bit. Okay. So if you've gotten this far with me, I think it's going to go together much easier now. Gloves off. Now just be careful how I handle the fiberglass. But it's theoretically close to being in place. Close the front door, turn on the AC. Put on this fan, hopefully it won't affect the light. Hopefully that fan won't make it look like it's constantly blinking. At least there's the bulb is shot in that light, so not like that light's gonna be shining. Alright, just get it started and then I'll turn it so you can see what I'm doing here. That actually looks pretty good. Afraid if I do turn it, I will mess up all my hard work. So I'm going to move the camera. And move the light so you can see what I'm doing. Once I get the camera out of my pant leg. That looks pretty good. Now, this Allen wrench will work faster like this if I can get enough strength on it to do something. Because this direction you have more torque. Additional advantage besides speed of using it the first way, I'm just guiding that back in and just using the edge of the plexiglass. Another advantage of using the way that you have less torque besides speed is you don't have to take it on and off. You can get closer to the floor, right? I can turn it in that limited amount of space. I'm not tightening anything all the way yet. This way I get more torque. That screw looks crooked. See it sticking out. Looks so crooked. I'm going to leave that one. That one's scaring me. All the others, this one looks pretty crooked too. Are they all crooked? Oh, they're all crooked. Okay, something's going on. That one's right and that's not crooked. Now, it could be they drilled all the holes a little bit off too. So I think I'm going to get the top a little more secure and then see if I can figure out what's going on the bottom. Sure, certainly encouraging to see all the screws going in straight, right? Seems to be going in. Not enough torque. So I have to do this number where I take it on, take it off, put 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 it on, turn, take it off, right? Let's see if I can have enough strength to get this side. Yep. That's a lot easier. Make a lot more progress. Now let's see if it feels okay. It feels okay, and I don't see the screw coming out either the top or the bottom. So it's kind of scary that it's now there I can't get enough torque. It's kind of scary that I see the screw going in at an angle somewhat. Keep watching this video, you'll probably find out if I screwed up or not, right? It'll all get real once I get further. Get enough screws. 1, 2, 3, yeah. 6 times 2 is 12. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 5 shelves times 2. 5 shelves times 2 plus the top, right? Makes 6 times 2 is 12. I'm gonna move everything over again. Now I left about a good 2 centimeters, 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, 1/2 centimeter, 1/4 of an inch out. There's not an exact conversion. Well, there's an exact conversion, but I can't do it in my head very easily. Of screw head left out. The side with the groove has to go onto the plexiglass. Trying to decide whether I should put the gloves back on so that I don't make a mark on the plexiglass. I'll try without. I think I'll just screw it together and then pop the plexiglass in if I have to. I'm looking from the top to make sure the screw's not coming out either right or left. I'm just wiggling this a little bit to get to line up with the hole. Once that one's lined up, it's way easier for the bottom to line up. So that feels pretty good. And then I'll just look and make sure, yeah, I see it going into the wood, not into the right or left. Okay, I just had to pull that a little bit towards me to get it to grab. I'm just turning them a little bit if I can, just to get it to butt up. Try to get that groove into the plexiglass. I'll probably put the gloves on and make my final adjustments. There we go. Just getting it to have a little bit of grab. Okay, make sure it's not going left or right. Feels really good because it's actually pushing the shelf away, making a big gap. It's turning so easy. Oh, see, that was going right. So I knew I didn't have the shelf lined up. I'll continue doing what I was doing, which was working for me. All right, I'm having to pull up this one up with a lot of strength. Probably because I put in that one so much, I'm kind of bending the whole thing. Hopefully the edge that I touched with my finger will be under the wood anyways, so you can't see it. All right, that looks good from the top. All right, 2 more screws, 2 more holes. These holes right here are for additional shelves that you want to add. So you can get little roll pins. Here's what I mean by roll pin. I promised you I'd tell you what it is. This is not really a roll pin, this is more of a metal peg, but roll pins have, so these additional holes are for additional shelves that you want to add. You could buy plexiglass, or what would be even better would be real glass, if you can afford to get it cut to the size. What roll pins are is they're shaped like this, but they're hollow, they're just rolled sheet metal, and they can like tighten in there or whatever. The way that these work, and roll pins are cheaper to make. These solid pins just work by having the hole be slightly smaller than what you're putting it in. Or in the case of the slides that I'm going to show you, slightly bigger. All right, now this is very important. When I go to tighten this up, again, I don't want to tighten it all the way, so I'm still leaving about a millimeter or two, about a 1/16 or 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. I'm still leaving about that much space between the head being all the way down, the head of the screw. But it's important that I move around. So I'm going to do this top one, and then I'm going to do this bottom one here on the other side. I'm lifting it up so that I can actually get some mechanical advantage by using a long handle, but then also not have to take it on and off, on and off, on and off. Yeah. No, right. I'm trying to get this closer at the bottom. And I'm working against those threads, right? All right. That's pretty square. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing as I just did to the top, but I'm going to tighten the top one on the other side and the bottom one on this near side to us. All right, so I'll slide it down so you can see what I'm doing. Now, albeit I'm away from you right now. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one. All the way. And then I'm going to do this one. Again, I'm going to lift it up slightly. Get it to button up. There we go. Lift it up slightly so I got the ability to turn this thing all the way around. This hex key or Allen wrench all the way around. Man, this is starting to look like a shelving unit. What do you think? All right, now I'm going to go to the middle. Now, the middle on toward the bottom, and I'm going to do the top. Oops, I cracked it. Not good. Those threads were holding the screw slightly at an angle. Don't do what I just did. Push it gently. And then I'm going to do the bottom here. Middle top. And again, I'm going to lift it up. It seems like my plexiglass is lining up pretty well. So I think if you do it the way I did it, you'll be okay. So I'm going to do up here and then down there on the other side. Definitely starting to feel like a shelving unit. This is the same way on a car that a cylinder head or a flywheel or some important mechanical part is installed. So if you tighten up all the screws on one end, whether it's wood or metal, doesn't matter, it's going to actually break it because it's going to squeeze it together on that end and it'll be far apart on that end. And then when it squeezes together, it's far apart on that end, and you make that end close together, it's gonna warp it and bend it. Now this is done with a machine where all the screws are tightened at once with a machine at the factory. But since we don't have the factory robot that does that, then we have to use this systematic way that I'm talking about. All right, that's a pretty good lineup of the plexiglass. I should have rotated the other way so you could see it, but that's a pretty good alignment here in the middle. It's not perfectly aligned. So I'm gonna take my glove. I don't have to put it on. Actually, I'll just use one piece of paper. Just push on it slightly. Line it. There we go. And then I'll probably start at the center because it's having the most problems in the center. And I'll just go here, here, flip it over and do the opposite. Here to just about a millimeter or two before it's absolutely tight. Flip it over. Do it here. Sorry, I'm so shaky. I think it's genetic because my daughter was like that even when she was a kid. Someday they'll probably identify the shake gene. All right. Now I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to flip it over and do that on the other side. If I can keep it straight. The back on my left. That's how I'll keep it straight. As long as you're sure they're in the holes, I don't see it being a big problem. It's just the screws aren't probably really straight because it doesn't really bite in, it just goes through it. And that's probably good because that allows you to the shelf butt it up. All right, so here. Close corner. Looks like I've already done it. Oh, in here. They don't really bite the screws until you get in there. All right, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that on the other side. And then I'll tighten it all up when I'm completely done, but I'll probably stop the video before that. Certainly don't tighten them so much that you break the wood, right? That's real easy to do, so be kind of chill about it. That's important. Mechanics trick is just don't do anything with all your strength, right? Yeah, I shouldn't have 4 screws, I should only have 2. So I screwed up somewhere. But if you did this with me, it'll be way more square than somebody who didn't do this kind of scattered pattern at all, you'll still be better off. You'll still have less broken wood, right? If you hadn't followed my advice at all. I'm surprised that the plexiglass lined up as well as it did. It wasn't really very hard. I just struggled in the beginning when I was trying to do it the wrong way. I received this shelf probably, I don't know when MoNiBloom 1 was made, but a month or two ago, and I should have done it right away while it was fresh. I didn't really need that shelf, now I do. Now I need this shelf. All right. This one looks a little loosest out of all of them. So tighten it up a little bit, but I'm still leaving that good millimeter or two before it's absolutely tight. All right, let's stand it up. See what we got. Very nice. See how much light it lets in. I'll show you from putting the light in the back how much light it lets through to the shelf. Isn't that beautiful? Right? Isn't that beautiful? All right, now I'm going to show you how to do a drawer. A door. So you need 2 of these metal pins that look like roll pins. And you're going to stick them in these 2 parts. And to get it in there once it's assembled, you're going to put one more forward and one more back. And then yeah. And then look at how beautiful that is. It holds it. And there's something you put right here. Oh yeah, you put another pin right there, and that holds the shelf up. So it's probably got 4 pins. Nope. But there is one on the other side, right? Over here I haven't installed. Okay, you get the idea of that. And then you put all of your 5 doors in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to install your little magnet. So you want to make sure the magnet is toward the front. And the way I've been installing is having it as far forward as I can. That's worked out well for me, except for one time when the screws weren't straight and I had to put one all the way forward and one all the way back. And even that would work good because he's got a little bit of adjustment. So I'm letting the screw stick through. You're kind of making your own threads with it into the plastic thing. And it's not you, these screws are the wrong head, so they're a little bit non-ideal. Okay, I'm making sure it's all the way forward. Because that's worked good on the other one. And then I'm going to install a plate. And there's 2 nubs or bumps on the plate. Make sure that that goes toward the inside of the door, so it makes friction on there. And put your screw through it. I think you have to kind of thread it through a little bit. Could have made it a little bit bigger. So I got those nubs so that they're going to actually bite into that wood. but still you gotta hold it. And then it's easy, you don't need a tool or anything. You put these beautiful knobs on. I love these knobs. They're so kind of antique chrome, look nice. Voila, there you go. All right, so again, these right here require a little bit smaller of a peg. You can get these plastic pegs, like it's a peg and then it's got a flat part that rests on the top, the shelf can rest on to give the shelf more support. And it's pretty narrow distance here, so probably you can get by with, let me raise it up a little bit so you can see what I'm saying. It's a pretty narrow distance here between these places for a shelf. So you could probably get by with plexiglass. It's certainly a lot cheaper than glass, a little less clear than glass. It doesn't support weight as well. But what I'm gonna do is probably put my big stuff on the bottom and put my lighter little miniatures on the top. And that'll probably work out pretty good with plexiglass. Maybe I'll make another video how to do it. A trick on getting all of the plastic off here is you can look where it's already started for you. That's a good place to go. But you can also grab a hold of it with the Allen wrench. And if you're just doing it onto the plastic, let's see here, I missed a little bit, right? It's painted up inside the wood. And then if you do both of them, just using my fingernail, being careful not to touch the plastic. And try and pull that part down there that's giving me trouble last. So I got something to grab. It makes a beautiful clear window. So that's absolutely what your cabinet's gonna look like. Really, really super nice. Please, if you have any questions, please comment, okay? If you have any comments how to do it better than I did it, because there are no instructions for this unit. If you're mechanically inclined more than me and you have a hint how to do it, of course, don't do it the way I did it at the beginning. But please leave a comment because you'll really help out my viewers, assuming that they read the comments. Hopefully they would before they undertake putting something like this together. It took me 1 hour and 12 minutes. It's a lot of time. So I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I think actually good. Yeah, so the pointed screws go for the little magnet holders, and the machine screws, the screws without a point, go from the back, and that's what you screw the knob into. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you assemblers, you downtime production assemblers. Thank you. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you like the video at all. Please leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.